Well, they claim they don't pay taxes and don't need a driver's license to operate a car, and they're not afraid to go after police, district attorneys, even judges when they feel they've been wronged.
They are known as sovereign citizens who believe they are not governed by American laws. Bill O'Neill spoke with members of one such group living here in the Triad. He joins us live now in Greensboro with the story. Bill?
Folks may not know the Moors. They are members of the Moors Science Temple of America. But I can tell you that public officials here in Guilford County and those who work at the Register of Deeds office know who they are. Lawsuits and liens targeting county officials, such as District Court Judge Tom Gerald.
It's certainly disheartening to find out that you're being sued by someone for doing your job.
Piling up at the Register of Deeds office in Greensboro.
And so it's a tremendously time-consuming process to clean all this stuff up.
Each lawsuit seeks hundreds of millions of dollars, and in one case, $1 billion. All of them filed by groups identified by local authorities as, quote, sovereign citizens.
Well, I don't think anybody expects to receive $1 billion, but it has impact.
Leisha El Shabazel, who identifies herself as a member of the Moors Science Temple of America, says the lawsuits are a form of retaliation for violating the rights of local Moors.
And I guess it's sort of I wouldn't say punishment, but an enforcement that other people that come along behind us won't be treated the same way.
The Moors have filed $800 million lawsuits against Guilford County's district attorney and his wife, as well as the county's clerk of court and his wife. One lawsuit targets a child support enforcement officer seeking $200 million.
We're an office where people file documents for public notice. I think when they file those documents like that, people notice.
Judge Gerald took notice when he tried to refinance his mortgage and discovered that a member of the Moors had placed a $7 million lien against his home.
It could have cost me some money. I could have been stuck with my old mortgage. I mean, it really is a bit disheartening. It's hard explaining to your spouse.
Judge Gerald calls the lawsuits, quote, paper terrorism.
We teach people what their rights are.
For the Moors, it doesn't end with lawsuits and liens. Sheikh Kenny Martin L. is the group's local leader. He carries a badge that identifies him as a consul with the Moors Science Temple of America. He showed us what he says are documented archive facts dating back thousands of years, showing the Moors were here long before America ever existed. As a result, he says the Moors possess inalienable rights that the American government cannot violate. Do you pay taxes?
No, I don't.
And you use this code as a way
Yes, I do.
to avoid paying taxes?
Yes.
Do you have a driver's license?
No, I don't.
Martinell says Moors have the right to travel wherever they want without a government-issued license, and they have the right not to pay taxes.
We have a specific code that we release to our people, and they are able to utilize that code without any repercussion.
A spokesman for the IRS says they don't comment on any group that claims it doesn't pay taxes. Several Moors have landed in jail for not abiding by American law. Authorities say that Dwayne Hemingway refused to identify himself in court. The judge jailed him for contempt. Tornello Pierce L. Bay went to jail charged with fraud. Sheikh Martinell says he teaches people their rights as Moors, but denies responsibility for what happens to those people who follow his teachings.
We're advocating that people know the law and that they have a choice, their own choice,
To exercise
their rights.
In response to all those lawsuits, North Carolina lawmakers passed a law last year making it a felony to file a frivolous lawsuit against a public official. So far, no one has been charged with that law, but the folks at the Register of Deeds office here in Guilford County tell me that the number of lawsuits has dropped dramatically since that happened. Back to you guys.
Bill, do you have any idea how many Moors or sovereign citizens live here in the Triad?
It is very difficult, Cam, to come up with a number like that. I even asked Sheikh Kenny Martinell if he could tell me just how many Moors he knew of in the area. He thought there might be several hundred, but as far as sovereign citizens overall, the number could be much larger than that, but there really is no head count. I know Greensboro police have kept an eye on this group, the people I've talked with, but they really didn't provide me with any numbers either. So it's very difficult to tell just how many folks are under this umbrella name of sovereign citizens.
All right, thanks a lot, Bill.